Hello, Pedro.
Hello, Agatha. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. I hope you also are very fine. Today, let's talk about potential analysis because not
Okay,
everyone might be familiar with this because this is not connected to the serial production. Will you make me a favor and tell us
of
what is
course.
potential analysis?
Of course. Potential analysis, it's a part of the VDA 6.3. VDA 6.3, as we spoke in the previous episode, we have to consider all the product life cycle from P2, P3, P4, that is the development, to P5, P6, P7, that is the series life. So also in VDA 6.3, when we are auditing P6, the production and process part, if we have several process steps like stamping, welding, assembly, we will have to repeat P6 on all of those process steps. Okay, so normally a VDA 6.3 audit can take the minimum 1 day, normally 2 days, maybe 2 days, 2 auditors. So it's an audit that takes time to go to the details, and that's an audit that the report, well, it will take also some time to perform the report and the classification. So how about when we are going to audit a potential supplier? So we are not working with that. If it is potential, we are not working with that supplier. Maybe that supplier is working for our competitors. Maybe they have specific know-how that they don't want to share until they have a contract. So we will not have complete access to everything. We will not have something ours that we can audit, and probably will not have all the time in the world to do that audit. So what VDA comes up is with this potential analysis that, joking a little bit, I usually say that is a light VDA 6.3 audit. And why a light audit? Let me share again the same screen that I showed before. Okay, so we have seen in the last episode all of these process elements, P2 to P7. So what VDA did is that they created this P1 potential analysis that is a lighter way of auditing, and it is also, let's call it, a best of the questions from P2 to P7. So from the total number of questions from P2 to P7, VDA selected nowadays 35 questions, if I'm not wrong, out of the total VDA 6.3 to condensate that in another form of audit that companies can use to evaluate the potential of a new supplier. Potential of a new supplier or potential of a known supplier but supplying from a new site, or also from a known supplier but with a new technology. So in every times, situations that we are going to evaluate for the first time. So the potential analysis will serve for that. When we are going to a new situation, new supplier, new site, new technology, and we want to have a quicker, although a deep analysis of that situation. Some other differences as well, because when we are talking about VDA 6.3 audit, and I believe we will see that in a later episode, we have to classify all the questions in 0, 4, 6, 8, or 10, or not evaluated. Here for the potential analysis, it will go in a simpler way. We will not have to classify with all of these levels. We just have to classify according to a traffic light system, green, yellow, or red. And based on those classifications for each single question, there will be also a green, yellow, or red classification for the overall audit. So, referring back to the first episode when we talked about the customer-specific requirements, OEMs and Tier 1s are using this type of activity, as we can see here in the slide, in a pre-award phase of the project. So during the contract award phase, this can be the situation to apply, to evaluate, and then based on the results, we are going to proceed or not. What the book is saying is that if during a P1 potential analysis, if the result is red, then the project should stop with that potential supplier. But also, on the other side, if the result is green or yellow, it doesn't automatically mean that the supplier is going to be awarded. It means that the supplier can go on with the negotiation, and it might be or not awarded with the project. What matters is that we can start with this potential analysis as a way to provide an answer also to AATF 8.4 supplier selection. But if the supplier passes and we start with the project, later on, when we have already our own product, our own process being applied by that supplier, then later on, around SOP, we will need to come up with a complete VDA 6.3, because then we would be auditing our process, our product. That's the intent of the P1. And as far as we know, many companies, namely VW, Mercedes, BMW, I believe as well, are applying this in their supplier selection process.
Yes, this is actually, P1 is maybe not that much acquainted by the manufacturing plants, because this is on the early stage when the new potential supplier is selected, yes, and in fact, as the result, nominated. So in manufacturing plant, we might be more acquainted with P2 to P7 steps.
Yeah.
However, it is very important also to make this awareness that P1 aim is just to select a new supplier. Okay, thank you, Pedro, very much.
Thank you very much.